Hey everybody, welcome back. So we are diving into the matrix here. I feel finally ready to speak again after channeling the ancestors the other night. So if you haven't checked that out, please go ahead and look up my website and or find more of the videos here on YouTube. Um, and so I shared a little bit about my matrix experience, and now I'm being called to dive in a little bit with you guys to what's happening in the world. I have very many friends and loved ones who, they enjoy my perspective on the world. For the very least, it's entertaining to them, and it's quite a contrast to what we've been taught and what we believe in as a whole. And so the first card out from the rainbow activation is the number 33, the number of ascension. And I'm just breathing into the density that is the matrix simultaneously playing out um, to a bunch of different timelines right now. Um, we have the election coming up tomorrow, and you know, everybody's going in their own direction. It's like organized chaos right now. Sounds like the first day of school. And the rules are somewhat set in place, but there are holes in it, and the kids know it, the parents know it, the whole world knows it. And, you know, the illusion is still somewhat in place, and it's teetering on the edge. And I must say that I am anticipating what happens as we all are holding on to the edge of our seat, whether we have participated in this matrix or not. And we'll just have to take it one day at a time from there. So hopefully you have cleared your conscience and gotten the proper perspective about where you stand on very basic human issues. And so, what does it mean to be a socially conscious human being within this matrix? That is ultimately everyone's personal decision. But the message that is wanting to come through is that it's interconnected. And so, the masterpiece of society that we have manifested up until this point, the creation thereafter is going to be up to us and how interconnected and interwoven it is. So we'll get into what the cards have to say about where they want me to go, which road they want me to take. So yeah, we have all things transmit an energetic signature. We receive and interpret long before the experience becomes physical. When we're able to see, hear, or taste what's happening, it's because of this patterning that we experience repetition. And by experiencing them over and over again is how we've learned things. It takes at least 5 rounds of new information to really hear it for the first time, and many usages of that information to create a new memory or a new habit. So Firstly, if you've been following along at all, we've been clearing our own energetic signatures and what we've been transmitting, what we've been receiving, and how we've been interpreting it. Okay. We've been examining our perspectives and, you know, flipping things on its head. Okay. So that once everything that we're experiencing now in the physical reality shows up at our front door, that we are clear within our own being, within our own house, within our own structure about what sense of order, what sense of protection, and what, you know, patterns we're creating with that energy signature. Okay. If you have not been in this community and doing this work in your own way, you know, now is the time. Better late than never. Because it's going to take integration, and, you know, election is tomorrow, so time is ticking. In the matrix of life, there are limitless opportunities to create new plot points. Okay. Every thought we have creates a new dimension that attracts more ways of expressing its vibration. So the black flower fragrance that we've been clearing through the murky waters of Mercury Retrograde, which is also ending tomorrow, is going direct. All right. We've been wanting to clear those spaces up so that we have positive expressions of our vibration. Okay. So now more than ever, being aware of our thoughts and the feelings that follow them, and examining the patterns that generate them. Okay. Doing our forgiveness work within self, clearing up our own vibrations so that we add something positive to the masterpiece of what's being created in the now. All right. So just take a sip of my coffee right now. The Matrix. Spirit, where are we going with this? So we're right off of the full moon in Taurus. The moon's phase right now is waning in Gemini, and Mars is still retrograde until the 14th. Mercury is going direct tomorrow, and Neptune is also still in retrograde. I think that might be until the beginning of the year. So let's see where we're being guided. We're lingering in, weighing in the balance right now because, you know, I chose to do an ancestral reading for the full moon, and now we're just waiting to see the outcome of this election. So let's roll the dice, since that's what we all do with our lives here in America anyway, and other places around the world, I'm sure. Let's roll the dice and see. All right, so we have number 15 is what's face up. Oh my gosh. All right, fine. We got 80% chance. Please don't tell me that's 80% chance that that number 15 card is going to happen. All right, we got a no here. Angel number is 111. Yes. All right now. And then we have a number 3 and 6. All right. Now, for our archetype, we have the number 15 here. Where do you want us to go with 15? Let's do shadows and lights. So I'm going to read from the book for this one. Card number 15 is A surprise to all of us. Oh, mildew fairy. Okay, so again, if you've been following along, the mildew fairy is what kicked off Mercury retrograde for us as we were beginning this transformation. Okay, so we're coming full circle at the end of our Mercury retrograde period, and she's checking in with us. So let's read it again. Um, the mildew fairy reminds us that it is clean up time. It always shocks me when people think something shouldn't be there, like the mildew fairy, like when we get concerned when she's around. No, the mildew fairy shouldn't be here, right? But I grow naturally, she says, where it's warm and wet. And I love to show you what you may need to take care of, okay? I can do wonderful things. I can be medicine and I can be a parasite too. But all the time, I'm showing you what's going on, what you need to change, and whether the conditions are a little too steamy for you. If they are, you can freshen up your environment naturally. Don't clean or use harsh chemicals or bleaches, as you'll kill all that is helpful and good. You see, I turn up when things are unhealthy and you just aren't noticing or getting it. So be thankful for my presence and build a little pond in her favor, okay? Treat yourself to some tasty mushrooms to remind us that the fungi that also grows from the earth can have benefits for us. So they are healthy. There are all healthy ways to honor this mildew fairy in our 3D experience. And we want to just be reminded to freshen our thinking, to remove those stuck emotions in our home, in our environment. Okay, that's the work that we've been personally doing. And so here's what the mildew fairy wants me to connect to the matrix, that society is made up of individual people. And in that individuality, we all influence other people to express themselves fully, right? Now, in a world, ideally, where all people have been loved and cherished and honored and respected from the time that they're born, right? Then we can live in a peaceful, happy environment. When we have people in this organized chaos of our human ecosystem vibrating on very different frequencies, it influences the things that we are experiencing collectively, okay? So the stagnant emotions that we have collectively about all the stuff that's going on with the election, all the stuff that's going on within healthcare, what's going on within the prison systems, what's going on within the Food and Drug Administration, what's going on with the churches and religion, what's going on with um, the economy and how capitalism, the wealth gap, and gender are still playing a role in the way we influence and work together in society. Like, it's 2020, you know? If we haven't cleaned up our house by now, then no wonder everything on the grand stage looks the way that it does, right? We can't sit here and point fingers at other people for their biases and their ways of doing things when we're still operating at our lower frequencies in different areas of our lives. Now, this is not to judge anybody, but we all have to take individual responsibility of our own frequency and realize how that is contributing to the matrix itself. And we have to acknowledge the ways that we have been contributing that energy within a construct that doesn't work for us just because it's a repeated trend that we've been taught. Okay? So, go and ring the bell on that. if you go back on my website, you'll see all of the archived videos that I've done throughout 2020, as often as I could, doing the best that I could within this construct to at least stay clear, right? We all have our responsibilities in the matrix to a certain extent, and I get that. And then there's also that choice point where you decide to start pulling your energy away from that machine that's running you down anyway and find another avenue, right? It's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy, but nobody said it was. And this isn't easy either. Like, this organized chaos is not easy either. So we can create something new. We have been creating something new, even in our thoughts. It just takes time to integrate those things. And, you know, the full moon energy hopefully has been a space of release for us so that we can move forward. Because by tomorrow, a whole lot of shit gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Just the energy has been so heavy leading up to it that I could only imagine what is possible to unfold just because of how much energy people have been pouring into the negativity and into the fear mongering, you know? Anyway, we have some other things from the dice that I want to, I guess, pay attention to. We have angel number 111. And so we're just gonna look that up real quick. I have this really dope app on my phone. I love it. It's made by Adam Little. Yes, I'm enjoying the app. We'll mommy later though. 111. It says, angel number 111 is a message from your angels to be very aware of your persistent thoughts and ideas as these are manifesting quickly into your reality. Ensure that your beliefs, thoughts, and mindsets are positive and optimistic in order to draw the energies of abundance and balance into your life. I don't make this stuff up. If we think it's going to be martial law, then that's what we're going to get. If we think that Trump is going to be unpeaceful, then that's what we're going to get, because we're going to feed that energy into that idea, right? And pay it attention so that it'll show up and manifest. If more people just stop watching the Hunger Games, then maybe they'll have a reason to stop playing it. Just the same way that the meat industry has had to adjust the way that they market and the things that they do to satisfy their customers. Okay. We've got more Beyond Burgers and fast food restaurants than I've ever seen. And that's because it's what the people have asked for. All right. The ideas about saving the planet in different ways that make it more healthy, right? Us utilizing the herbs and things that the planet gives us naturally to take care of whatever is necessary. Those are things that we can start tapping into if we haven't already. And if you have, you can always improve. You can always learn something new. You can always get better. So I have some of those tools and resources here that we're going to gather tonight. But I think definitely those are the initial things they want me to talk about. Yeah, many of us have seen the whole analogy of America being like a monopoly game, and you know the ways in which groups of people have been oppressed and tortured and utilized as scapegoats and, you know, jail bait, I guess, to continue a system that's destroying everything around it, including the planet. And so let's get into what this message really has for us. I'm really enjoying my coffee. Give me 1 second. It's a little cold now, but We'll take some iced coffee for now. All right. I want to go to the Tower first. The bottom of the deck is the number 70. Number 7 is my favorite number with some God force behind it. It says, my teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them. And if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning then? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. Okay. If you want to know what Atiba be talking about, look inside your heart. What message would you like to use to open up this conversation? Oh, okay. The number 28 here. It says, okay. It says, know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Go back and watch the ancestral reading. We definitely talked about the masculine and feminine energies. We honor the ancestors in that way. It says, know the male, yet keep to the female. Receive the world in your arms. If you receive the world, the Tao will never leave you, and you will be like a little child. Know the white, yet keep to the black. Be a pattern for the world. If you are a pattern for the world, the Tao will be strong inside you, and there will be nothing you can't do. Know the personal, yet keep the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block, that she can use all things. Yes. We're going to dive into the wild unknown archetypes right now. All right, we've got one, the empty room. I've worked with this energy before, and it's really beautiful because it allows us that time and space to really reflect on the nothingness, right? As the Tao just said, know the white, but keep to the black, right? The things born out of the void, out of that dark space here. So this is really indicating a need to go within self individually and connect on a spiritual level about what this new vision is supposed to be. Knowing the personal, but keeping the impersonal, right? Accepting the world as it is, the creation space that it is, the dark void of the womb, the creation of the cocoon and the butterfly as it emerges from its caterpillar state, that empty room type darkness. Okay. And again, being like the little child, remembering the cycle that we emerge from. Okay. The child, it originates in that dark space, that new existence, that reaching out for new possibilities, the chance to go through its own cycle, to shed its skin over and over again, and to become anew in life, okay? Ascending through that process into the all, into everything. So the murky waters have come to the surface, okay? And that's why we're doing this. This is why we are allowing those waters, those emotional spaces to be cleared up and reminded of its original cycle. Okay, we talked about the water cycle with the ancestors the other day. And so the world that we're seeing right now is filled with all of this darkness that's trying to cloak our light. And it's not a bad thing, right? We have to release our judgments of these things. It's not a bad thing, it's just contrast. And this contrast is reminding us that the mildew fairy's presence is necessary, okay? Because we need to turn this upright, where the things that settle back down are illuminated and is a reflection of the things that is being brought from that higher frequency. What does the moon have to say about all this? And she directs the tide. Don't let pride get in your way. Don't be too proud to say that we messed up, you know, like it's okay. It's all right to acknowledge that, you know, we spent a lot of time investing in the wrong things, investing our energy into the wrong things, okay? It's all right to say that, you know, our skeletons are falling out the closet and that we actually have to clean it up, you know? It's okay to say that, you know, we paid attention to their matrix and given it so much of our energy, and now it's time to move in another direction. It's time to take hold of our reality in a different way. We have the Leo energy here. So really, again, that bright orange that we see reflected in this murkiness here, that's us. We can rise above that and not allow our pride to get in the way of making new decisions. So let's see what flipped over here. We have adjustments are required, a time for healing. Okay. So again, the forgiveness healing sessions that I've been facilitating, they've been so helpful in bringing up the things that we need to clear up specifically so that we can do the work. You know, it just starts with one step, okay? Any 12-step program or 21-day program or whatever, that patterning is that is necessary to create new habits, new belief systems, new ways of doing things, new perspectives. It just starts with one step. And these are the adjustments that are required right now. One by one, if we stop investing so much of our energy into the old matrix and not allowing our pride to get in the way so that we can elevate to something different from the indication of our soul, we can heal past this. A time for healing. So let's go back to the archetypes and reflect this. What can we look forward to through this healing process, after this healing process? Go there with us, please. The gem. Oh my gosh. Look at this. The gem. A time for healing in the gem. What else? Anything else? The mother. Oh my God. And at the bottom, we have the one. I love it. Yes. Okay. So through this healing, after this healing, beyond this experience, once these adjustments are made, what we can look forward to, the gem, the mother, and the one. If this don't sound like the Matrix playing out on this table right now, I don't know what is. Like, you can bend the spoon, bruh. Really. We are the tipping point. We are at the tipping point. We are the one droplet in the water, in the ocean, that tips it over the edge, okay? And so with the gem energy here, we see the radiant, colorful light, okay, being protected in this earth. We have worms here, it's grassy here, and this gem is, it looks very similar to what we saw over here as we examine the macro and the micro, okay? We realize that it's our individual radiance and color that's adding to this masterpiece, all right? And once we have that realization, here we are again with the snake. The orphan child now realizes that they are not an orphan at all right? We have the mother here, okay? The mother has been holding you in the palm of her hand this whole time. The earth herself has been holding us in the palm of her hand the whole time and going through these processes with us. Here's the snake coiled around, you know, mother's caring, nurturing, compassionate, loving hands, all right? And no matter what nest has been created, we know that that cycle is still going to continue, all right? And that we stand within that womb of creation. And again, with this understanding, all right? With this understanding, then we realize that we individually are the one. Each and every one of us, okay? You are Neo. Okay? We are individually the one. We're connected. Look at this beautiful reflection here, okay? Once we get to that empty womb, it comes back full circle that it's always been us. That's why we're here at this time right now, to do this healing work collectively, but more so individually. Each one of us that unplugs from the matrix and realizes that nature has always been operating at a certain frequency and within a certain set of natural laws and principles, and that we've also been protected and guided through that, even beyond our control, and the one that we had given control to through the matrix, that we can see the truth here, okay? And at the bottom of the Moonology deck, we have You Are Good Enough, all right? Both of these are full moon energies here. So really swallowing our pride and going into that space, doing the necessary adjustments and allowing that healing process to happen, knowing that that sense of individuality that we hold is what adds to the collective experience. All right. Luck is on your side here. We got the bow of the Centaurian, the Sagittarius of the deck. I'm a Sag rising, so I had to throw that shameless plug in there. Luck is on your side. So I want to get into some tarot stuff just because I want to see what specific things maybe are going to show up. Let's also pull from the full moon oracle to see what they have for us. Okay, partnerships, loving partnerships. This relationship vibe has been trying to come out so much. Okay, at the bottom we have trouble in paradise. So we're trying to manifest loving partnerships. Let's see. That's what y'all want to talk about. All right, shifts within that. Luck is back. And the last part, we have deep, abiding connection in love. Okay. So at the center of all of this, okay, Spirit, I got what you're saying. At the center of all this, at the heart of the matter of all this, is the fact that we're all a little uncertain about our interpersonal relationships and our ability to connect, right? We have been quote unquote on lockdown or quarantine. I don't know, how many people adhere to those types of rules or not. And I'm not here to truly influence anybody's movements, but this is a 10-10 right here with the loving partnerships and change. So out of chaos comes order, productive progress through business or travel, and possibility of an adventure by water. So we love water around here, which is impacted by the moon heavily, and also how we feel. So our love spaces as well. So we'll find out something about the love space. And we have, again, the ability to connect, outside of just loving relationships. So let's get into the tarot and see what they talk about with these love relationships and connections. Using the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. Wow. All right, so the vision is making itself clear. We got the Two of Wands and a whole big stack of cards that just fell out. And I feel like I'm going to take them. So I'm going to go from what I can see first. The Two of Wands here, we have the beautiful world card, world. Can you see this? No, not really. What can we use? It's not going to work at all. All right, anyway, I'll just explain it to y'all. What we have here with the Two of Wands is wanting to place those stakes in the ground of the vision, adjust reality. And looking at these two perspectives here, one where we're needing to clear up those spaces and realizing that we're good enough, we actually have everything that it takes. When it comes to partnerships and relationships, we want it to be balanced, right? We want to have that shared vision. We want that level of truth and honesty to be at the foundation of anything that we create and or receive from the universe, okay? So that, as we continue to place those stakes in the ground, that we can actually sit back and enjoy, you know, the cycles, you know what I mean? And continue to do our work from a place of joy and our dreams coming true, okay? So as it pertains to relationships right now, that's what it seems like we're all pondering and looking out into the future about. So we have the Star card, the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Six of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Death card. We have Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, the Magician, the Queen of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Six of Wands. Okay. So starting out, we have the Star and the Ten of Wands. And what these are saying is that time for healing that we saw, that's what this is all about. This emotional space being cleared up, transmuted, you know, pouring back into our own emotional spaces and allowing the things that we've experienced to water our garden, okay? The things that we've learned in that turmoil, in that chaos, to actually help water our garden, all right? We have all these beautiful stars shining down. Not only is that ancestral healing and support, but it's the universe, you know, illuminating the process even through the darkness, or, you know, the murky waters of contending with what is in front of you when it comes to your relationships and your emotional spaces, okay? We have the Ten of Wands as well. So that's what we're healing from. We're healing from those heavy burdens of all the responsibilities that we've had and all the stuff that we've had to, you know, hold on to. You know, it's really a time for us to unpack our baggage and declutter our spaces, our emotional spaces, declutter our lives, and really get to what we actually need. So we started out with the Two of Wands, and here this person is trying to heal from the Ten of Wands because there was this other vision that they placed a lot of energy into, and then it became overwhelming and burdensome. It's something they had to turn their back on to actually balance things out and focus on those emotional and spiritual spaces rather than just the motivation and drive, the grind, the everyday, you know, physical stuff that you think you're passionate about, but then becomes a burden eventually. Okay. Ooh, some heavy stuff on there. But that's the healing process, right? You got to really look at it. You have to actually go into that empty space and breathe into what needs to be healed, right? We see the stars a lot here in the empty room. We see the stars in the healing card twice. So beautiful synchronicity here. The Knight of Pentacles falling with this is just reminding us that, you know, it's going to be a slow and steady process, right? The things that we're gathering in this earthly realm, this information that we're gathering, that we've already started to make some headway on, it's going to take some continued dedication. You know, it's going to take that journey of actually, you know, releasing our pride and, you know, releasing the things that have been too burdensome, whether that be old mindsets, old belief systems, old things that we've subscribed to relationships, the ways that we try to put, you know, gender roles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, on other people. Is really a time to, you know, integrate the things that we believe. All right. So, and the whole point of this is as we integrate and heal in our interpersonal relationships, then we can be operating at our highest frequency And then we can actually impact the world in a positive way because we're no longer giving out the black flower fragrance of overwhelm and frustration and upset and just exhaustion. And we can actually do that healing work, even if it takes some time. You know, our ego will want us to just, you know, thug it out and not rest ourselves, not recover from this stuff, not put down certain things because we think we can do it. But, you know, if you need support holding all of this stuff, you know, sometimes you just got to put it down and go sit by the water, you know, allow time to just do what it does because it's irrelevant anyway. We're here to enjoy life, not to be burdened down by it. So, excuse me. We have the Eight of Swords here with the Knight of Cups. And so the Eight of Swords with the Knight of Cups is telling us that in some of our relationships, the emotional waters have kind of run dry. And now it's just about us releasing ourselves from the mental entrapment of, you know, seeking new proposals or, you know, being concerned that the people we love are offering their cup of love elsewhere. The reality is that, you know, with this eight here, there's some building and destroying that needs to happen, right? You need to refill your own stream, your own lake, if you will, and water your own garden and remove the blindfold, okay? This unicorn is tied up, all right? And unicorns definitely don't need to be tied up. They need to be roaming free and allowing themselves to give their cup of love where they feel it's going to be most appreciated and reciprocated. We all have that choice. And so if we release the confines, release the resistance of, you know, maybe trying to hold on to people that are trying to walk away, then it could be a little bit easier for us because then it makes room for what is truly ours. And it's not to be tied up and blindfolded. I mean, unless you like that stuff. But it should be done with a partner that you know is not trying to run away from you. But we've all been there. So with the Ace of Wands here, we see a new flame being offered by the universe. And so the more that you continue to focus on your own slow and steady healing and, you know, lightening your own load, releasing yourself from the mental entrapment and devoting your love, energy, and attention to the things that help to fill your cup and allow that stream to flow, we have a new flame, okay? The universe is offering us a new opportunity. The rainbow is just across the way, and there's balance here, okay? The universe is connected to us. We have this wand here, we have the emotional space flowing, and we also have the rainbow, which is our abundance and that shining support that we get, all right? Now we have the Six of Cups with the King of Wands, and the Death card. So these three together, and we could still leave the Death card on its own. The Six of Cups and the King of Wands is just showing us the ways that we're kind of holding on to, you know, old charming energies, all right? The ones that can charm us out of our pants with, you know, just a walk in the park, a sniff of some roses, you know, whatever it is that history that we have with said people. You know, we're kind of nostalgic about that. You know, Mercury retrograde may have brought some people back into our reality, and it has us reminiscing about the King of Wands, right? It could be reminiscing about the sensual energy that we experience, the ways that, you know, they kind of made us come alive in different ways. But we also realize that this person was, you know, focused on self and not really devoted consistently towards maintaining those positive memories, right? And so it kind of forced the transition, right? Having to lay it to rest, release it, like really put certain things down when it came to the relationships and even some of the business partnerships that we've had, because there's a self-centered characteristic about the King of Wands here. And we have the Magician with the Queen of Swords, and this is really stepping into your creative power here, realizing that you have all the tools that you need to manifest the relationship that you actually want, and really going for it, realizing that you're good enough, that you are the one. You don't have to wait or, manifest on anybody else's time, because you have all the tools you need. And then we have the Queen of Swords, which is just cutting away very diplomatically anything that doesn't serve your understanding of your own truth. Okay, so I said that very carefully because it's not easy to release relationships and move away from things that we thought would pan out a certain way. But after dealing with, certain things, you just have to create a new set of boundaries for yourself. And that's where this transformation came in, just stepped into that creative director seat of your life. Right? That's what this represents here. The Page of Swords is just, refreshing your mindset and refreshing your list of what it is that you want in business partnerships and relationships, because the Six of Wands here is victory over that vision. Okay, really stepping into the limelight, doing the things that you love, and making some space in your energy field to receive the recognition and, appreciation that you truly deserve. Okay. So let's see what the surrender deck has for us as we shift our mindset around relationships. Okay. Surrender to silence, like the empty room here, and surrender to spirit. Surrender your fear of change. So whatever it is that you're fearing about releasing, anything you have a relationship with that isn't serving you, enter the empty room for your healing here. Okay, that's what this whole side is talking about. Doing that healing work so that you can actually receive what the universe has for you with this Ace of Wands. So it says, in quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. All right. And surrendering to spirit here, surrendering to the fact that you are the one, that you are the gem, and that spirit has your back. We channel that energy through us with this Magician and Queen of Swords here, right? We also channel spirit through us with this death and rebirth process, okay? It says, once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you, okay? So oh wow, speaking of magic, I'm taking the Earth Magic deck down, and the full moon card falls right off the top. Completion. All right. So I think that we are going to allow this message to be complete. I love you all so much. Please step into some space of stillness and, take a peek at your perspective between now and the next couple of days. Invoke your spirit guides and receive the support that you need. One earth card, just because I can't help it. How can we get a little connected to the earth magic with this full moon? Too many. Heart's home. So yeah, go listen to your heart, guys. Allow the information to pour in from all directions and cleanse your spirit, ground you. Um, know that you are the one, we all are one. We're connected to all things. And I'll see you guys on the flip side of the moon. Peace.